For many years, I was aware of Alex Garland as Danny Boyle's writer, his frequent collaborator on such projects as The Beach, adapted from his own novel, 28 Days Later, and Sunshine. It was a real Boyle/Garland trilogy of sorts. Before launching his own writer-director career starting with Ex Machina in 2014, Garland would pen an updated adaptation of the Judge Dredd comic book series in 2006. Judge Dredd had previously been adapted for the screen in 1995 as a Sylvester Stallone actioner that mostly everybody hated, at least at the time. I remember the film's low box office numbers, double thumbs downs, and D-grade Entertainment Weekly score like it was yesterday. So needless to say, fans had been chomping at the bit for a fresh new take on the source material since then. And who better to tackle it than Alex Garland? He was a uniquely talented genre voice that had gained favor in the sci-fi/horror community. Dredd was finally released in 2012 during the third resurgence of 3D cinema launched by James Cameron's Avatar in 2009. Because of this, the film was shot in 3D and primarily made available in 3D prints. Whether it was a failure in its advertising or a cost of the 3D upcharge, not to mention the annoying headaches that 3D would give certain viewers, or the inconvenience of wearing 3D glasses over one's own prescription glasses, the film underwhelmingly performed at the box office, although it was critically acclaimed, even receiving certain technical awards for excellence. The film would later find a larger audience and become fully appreciated on home video. Where 1995's Judge Dredd was designed as a PG-13 blockbuster, Dredd was a hard-boiled, no-nonsense gore fest roughly inspired by Bruce Lee's unfinished Game of Death film. Lee's original concept was one where the film's hero would start at the bottom floor of a large complex, working their way up to the top floor where the main boss awaited them. And then he'd be all like, "Hey guys, I started from the bottom, and now I'm here." There's a bit more to it, but that's the gist. Dredd is most definitely more action than story, but it maintains balance through good writing. There are tiny bits of character development sprinkled throughout the script, which adds stakes and makes it possible for the viewer to care for the characters. The character of Dredd is a rough, monotone blank slate of a man who never takes his helmet off for the film's entire running time. That's why it's so necessary to partner him up with a rookie judge played by Olivia Thirlby. She is the general audience's way in as a viewer, making for a much warmer and likable protagonist, at least in the classic sense. She is the perfect contrast to Dredd's mechanical demeanor. Lena Headey plays Maw, a tough-as-nails crime boss with a fetish for the lost art of skinning blokes. She would fit nicely into the dystopian hellscape of the RoboCop universe, right up there with Kane from RoboCop 2. The inclusion of a drug called slow-mo makes for some visually arresting sequences full of shiny glitter effects that work perfectly for the 3D format. The action is top-notch, as are the overall visual effects. Carl Urban gives a great performance as Dredd. It's brave in that Tom Hardy kind of way, you know? It's hard to find an actor who's willing to cover his face for the entirety of a film. Most of their egos would get in the way long before the mask or helmet would ever get a chance to. Upon the release of Dredd, there was a controversy due to the film's similarity to 2011's The Raid Redemption, which followed the same Game of Death format. But due to the two films' release dates being so close to one another, and Garland's starting of the script in 2006, plagiarism was deemed as an impossible conclusion. Another thing to note would be the film's fantastically powerful score by Paul Leonard Morgan. Its pulse-pounding rhythm acts as the heartbeat of the film, helping keep its raw intensity afloat.